Love it or hate it, the KTM 690 Enduro R, yeah, is probably one, if not the best, dual sport adventure motorcycle ever built on this planet. And not only that, with the right accessories, you can turn it into not only a great adventure motorcycle, but you can also turn it into a world traveling motorcycle. Guys, do it, look it up. Anyway, we're gonna talk about accessories and things that you can do to your KTM if you want to turn it into a fantastic dual sport adventure bike, coming up next on the Rant Ride.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Hopefully this week was good. Weather is absolutely gorgeous today here in Dallas-Fort Worth. Really, really nice. It's about 65 degrees for all you guys in the freezing part of the country. I'm sorry, but move to Texas. You can ride year-round, man. Yes, you can. Anyway, yeah, everybody that supports the channel, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of it. Thank you to all our Patreon sponsors. If you want to be a Patreon sponsor and help the channel grow, patreon.com/690ADV. Thank you so much. If you're looking for any gear or any of that stuff, needing boots, gloves, goggles, helmets, all that stuff, just really cool knick-knack stuff to travel with, down in the description. We've done a lot of the work in our affiliate link, and that helps our channel out tremendously. Would like to give a quick shout out to a good friend of mine, Jacob Hambright. And today's Rant and Ride is from a follower and a subscriber, Zirkin. I don't even know how you pronounce it. ZKRN number 1. He basically made a comment about the KTM 690 and kind of a walk around and talking about all the things that are on my bike to adventure travel and what did I put on my bike and why did I put it on there. Well, as in the beginning and the intro of the video, you know, I talk about the KTM, you know, and world travel and probably the best adventure bike or dual sport bike, pound for pound. You know, I'm not going to say it's the best, but I am going to say that it's really a great bike, and a lot of guys love them, and a lot of guys like to bash them. You know, I get it. They're not cheap, but they do the business, and the unreliability claims are just plain false. I'm sorry, but they are just completely, there's just not enough data out there to back up any of those so-called whatevers, you know. I will agree with you on the price. They're not cheap, but you do get what you pay for. They are fantastic and fun bikes, and they'll handle their business. And for a dual sport bike, they're really not heavy. They're probably the lightest of the dual sport bikes for what they'll do. Anyway, what did I do to my bike? Guys travel the world on these bikes. You can find the information and data out there. The KTM 690 Enduro R and the KTM 500 EXCF, they are world bikes. It can be done. It's not that, oh yeah, no, it's been done. It's been done. But mine, the first thing that I did was the headlamp. The headlamp on the 690 is absolutely awful. It's garbage. Most motorcycle headlamps are really, really bad. But I replaced mine with the Cyclops. And there's going to be pictures on screen on everything. And if you have any questions or anything, remember 690adb@gmail.com. You can hit me up and I'll tell you everything that I did to my bike. And I'll help you out, put you on the right track, and try to find you the best deal, whether it's through an affiliate link or somebody else. So, but yeah, the Cyclops headlamp is really, really nice. It's LED. It's super bright. It's literally 10 times better than the original headlamp that came with the KTM, and it really does a great job, and it really helps out. The second thing that I did is right next to them are my Baja Commander lights, And those are my off-road lights. They're super amazing. They work fantastic. They're not real cheap, but they're not bad. They're like $200 and something. But they work so good. I mean, they literally will light up a football field. They do amazing with the lumens and all that stuff. And you can set up camp at night with it. You can see. I've got other riders that have seen them and just said, man, those are amazing. Not only did it light up your area, it lit up my area too when we were riding at night through the technical stuff. East Texas ADV, he'll pretty much let you know they really do work fantastic. They do a really, really good job. Next thing that I did to my KTM that really is adventurizing this bike to make it to and you can do so much more. It depends, you know, remember you're only limited to your budget and what you want to do and what you really want to do on that bike. I don't want to travel the world on this bike. I just want to travel the United States. So I did what I needed to do. My mirrors, they're called double takes, and they use ram connections and mounts and balls that actually go in there. And they allow me to fold those mirrors out of the way when I'm riding off-road or if I'm in single track or anything like that. And it keeps me from breaking my mirrors off. And they're really not that expensive, and they do really a great job. My handguards, those are the KTM. They're KTM edition. And believe it or not, you can actually get KTM products that they're really not that expensive, and they're really, really good. And it goes along with what KTM does on everything. Light, 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 light. These are the KTM handguards. They're the Rally Edition. And they're light. They do a great job at blocking wind, rocks, everything like that. They are aircraft aluminum, and they do a great job in protecting my hands, my wrists, and everything like that. And they're just fantastic. Next thing, I did, and I don't have a picture, but I'm going to show you the new grips that I just put on my bike. These are the KTM. They are the Rally grips. I picked them up. They're really not that much. I want to say they're like $40 or something. They really weren't that much. I put them on myself. I'm going to basically do a video and show you how to put those on if you ever want to change your grips out. But my original grips were heated grips. I'll be honest with you, they looked really cool. But at the end of the day, if I could go back and change it after having them on, I would never do it. Just buy a pair of good gloves. Or heated gloves or something like that, and then that way you don't have to mess with it. They failed more than they ever worked. They were not cheap. I want to say they're like $200. They're fatter than normal grips. They felt weird when you rode off-road, and you know, I don't want to bash the company or anything like that, but I just didn't care for them a whole lot. They just never really worked when I needed them to. So negative to that, but these new grips are super, super tacky. They work great. I love them, man. They feel really awesome in my hands. The windscreen, at the time that I got my bike in 2017, or actually it was 2016, it's a 2017 model. This was really the only windscreen that you could get for the KTM, so that's really the one I got. But I really like it. It does a great job. It deflects a lot of the wind. It keeps the buffeting down on my helmet, and it wasn't very expensive, and it did a really good job, and they're really easy to install. Bash plate, or my engine guard up underneath, that is basically KTM as well. That is the KTM Rally Edition. I got it through KTM North Texas. Remember, if you need anything, these guys can take care of you. Anything on my bike, you can get for your bike, and they ship nationwide, and they match just about anybody's price anywhere. So, but that's the bash guard. It works great. It's real easy. It's a 2-bolt system, and it pops right out. It fits with all the original KTM hardware and setup, and it's really nice, and it's great when you got to do an oil change. It makes it super, super easy. Steering stabilizer, I looked at Scott's. I didn't go with the Scott's. I just knew there had to be something as good or close to it without spending $600. Well, just so happens there are. This is the Savage Edition. I know other guys that have them too, and they put them on their bikes. They really like them. It does a great job. It was only like $150. It came from China, and I know what everyone's thinking, but it does a good job. I'm not going to say it's better than Scott's, but I will say that I've had it out in technical, big rocks, stones, ruts, everything, and it's done everything I've ever asked it to, and it really, really changes how this bike handles whenever you're riding off-road. And not only that, on the highway, it really takes all the wobble out. It's super, super nice. You can dial it in with your finger, super fast, super nice. and yeah, it works really, really well. My GPS is from TourTech. It's a quick release for my Garmin Zumo, and the way that it's positioned, it mounts right onto the handlebar mounts, and it really does a great job because I can see it great during the day and at night while I'm sitting, but I can also, when I'm standing up, I can see it real, real well. So if I'm having to see a trail or something like that, it works really good. My pegs. The pegs that come with the KTM 690 are really pretty good, but they're a little short. And with a motocross boot or any type of adventure boot, you really probably want to go with a wider peg. I got the actual KTM rally pegs that are on there. They're a little bit fatter and they're definitely wider, so the boot sits on there really, really nice and firm, especially when you're sitting right in the cup of the boot. If you got to stand for long periods of time, or the things that you have to do off-road or whatever, you don't get fatigued, and it's really nice, and you have a whole lot less slippage on your boot when you're off-road, because you get the whole boot onto the peg. Engine casing on the throttle side, the KTM, the brake pedal is notorious for being pretty chintzy. You can upgrade it. It's not cheap. It's going to be kind of expensive. But I got a carbon fiber plate that actually mounts to the side of the engine case that protects it. I haven't had a problem with it yet. It's not super expensive, but it's not really cheap either. But it is carbon fiber, and it does a really, really good job on protecting that. It does a great job. My tail plate, I put on the Tusk tail plate to mount, all sorts of stuff like my cargo net, so I can actually attach other things to it. I attached a box to the back of mine, which you can see. Like I said, you're seeing all this stuff on screen. Any questions, 690adv at Gmail, and I'll get you all the info that you need. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up if you like everything that you hear. But that's what I attached the box to, and it does a great job, and it's not a huge box, but I can put all my really expensive, my cameras, any of my gear that I really truly want to be waterproof. That's what goes in that box, and it's ballistic, so it is super, super strong, and it's not going to get damaged. And if something happens, I go down in a river crossing or something like that, all my stuff is secure on that. The filler neck on the back, that's the CJ Designs that I put on there. I would suggest, if you're buying a 690 ever, get rid of the factory filler hole. It's horrible. Dirt will fall in. It will destroy your fuel pump and your lines. And get the CJ Design. That way it's raised. All the dirt, you can brush it away if you've been riding hard in mud and all that type of stuff, and you don't mess up your gas tank. Be smart about that for sure, 100%. Because it's a big deal, and you don't want to be out on a trail and just fueled up, get a lot of dirt in there. Next thing you know, your bike's dead. And last but really kind of not least, it's not even last. I'm sorry, I've got two more, but I have the my SAE connector for keeping my battery charged when I'm not riding the bike. It is on the side right there. They're very easy to install. I use the heavier gauge, so that way it actually works two ways. If I need to jump the bike now, I've had an episode that I basically discharged my battery on a trip and was stranded for a little while. That's another story. But go with the thicker cable because it's going to work a whole lot better. Last but not least, my seat. The seats are like 2x4s, the original. They're not very good. And replace it out, especially if you want adventure travel. I got the Seat Concepts, the gripper. For what they sell them for, it's worth every penny. They do a great job. Doesn't matter. Even the greatest of seats are only so comfortable. And but the Seat Concepts does a great job. It's a wider in the tail end, and it makes it so much more comfortable when you are out in the trail. And when you're on the highway, it will just make your life so much better whenever you're punching those miles down. Anyway, that's all the things that are on my bike, and it really kind of makes it for me a adventure bike for the United States. I could travel anywhere I wanted to go on it. But you can turn it into a world bike too by all the other stuff, adding panniers and all that other stuff. So really, you can make it whatever you want it to be. Anyway, that's mine, what I have. Thanks so much. You guys have a fantastic Friday. Don't forget, give thumbs up, hit that subscribe, make sure you're part of the channel. We sure do appreciate you. And like I said, to everybody out there, if you ever want to know anything or you want me to talk about something, just put it in there and send it in an email, man. You guys have a great one. 690 out.